Another seismic election in Moldova, touted as a battle for the future direction of the country, towards Europe or towards Russia. Widespread allegations of interference from Moscow had prompted suggestions of a nail-biting election night. But it is the pro-European groups that have topped the polls by a significant margin. Here's what we know so far. The Party of Action and Solidarity, PAS, the pro-European ruling party, has won the 2025 Moldovan parliamentary election. Rampant inflation, increasing costs of living, instability from Russia's war in Ukraine just over the border, and a failure to deliver on anti-corruption and justice reform, two of its major promises, have not stopped the pro-European party from securing another majority. There were lots of fears of a resurgent pro-Russia vote after the yes vote on EU membership won by a razor-thin margin in last year's referendum. Widespread Russian interference was alleged throughout this election cycle, and Moldova's president, Maia Sandu, warned about it again.
Yes, I do believe that Russia has not achieved its objectives. It has spent a lot of money in these elections, but the results show that they failed. And it failed because of the joint effort of the state institutions, of the media, of the press, of the civil society. So it was really a response by the entire society to these attempts by Russia to interfere.
Moscow has been accused of a vote-buying operation in Moldova, of cyber attacks, of planning to incite riots around the election, and of a massive disinformation campaign online.
We have counted for a week the number of posts, and it shows that more than 10,000 posts, 80% of which contain some type of misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation. So basically,
in just 1 week?
In 1 day.
In 1 day?
In 1 day. That's more about weaponizing the social grievances of the people in Moldova.
In the days leading up to the election, police carried out hundreds of raids to detain people seeking to destabilise the country. Politicians accused of using Russian funds to pay for their party efforts have been arrested and political parties banned, while more than 200 properties have been searched and 74 people detained in the last week over an alleged Russia-backed unrest plot. Here, Moldovan police detained 3 people suspected of being from the security service in Moldova's pro-Russian breakaway region of Transnistria. They were allegedly planning to cause mass destabilisations and disorder after the election. But it was not just at home that interference was rife, it was at polling stations for the country's large diaspora in Europe. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs said bomb threats targeted several cities, stopping voting for up to 2 hours in some cases. The opposition have not taken it lying down. Activists here protesting outside a jail where accused Russian agents are being held. While Igor Dodon, the pro-Russian Socialist Party leader, says the ruling PAS party are tyrants and that the Moldovan people are scared.
Eu am votat pentru revenirea la normalitate, pentru dezvoltarea Republicii Moldova, pentru oprirea fricii care, cu regret, în ultimele săptămâni, ultimele luni, chiar și ultimii ani, a devenit o normă în Republica Moldova. Eu am avut sute de întrevederi, oamenii se tem. Și atunci când oamenii se tem de putere, de guvernare, asta înseamnă tiranie. Trebuie să fie invers. Guvernarea trebuie să se teamă de oameni. Astăzi este ziua când cetățenii Republicii Moldova pot să aducă țara înapoi, să-și o recapite.
But the pro-Russian groups have not won this election, despite the alleged help that they have received, which was always denied by the Kremlin. These are the key details from the election. PAS secured just over 50% of the vote, having been in government since 2021, and they will now lead the country for 4 more years. The group increased their overall vote count by almost 20,000 people, but suffered almost 3% loss in its vote share. The overall seats won by the party goes down by 8 to 55, but remains more than half of the 101 available. Their founder, Maia Sandu, was re-elected as president in a very tight election in 2024, and now the party will be in government once again, allowing Sandu and the party to push forward with its goal of EU membership by 2030. So this is why it matters. Moldova is a neighbour of Ukraine and a fellow former Soviet republic. It has a breakaway region in its east, Transnistria, that is aligned with Moscow. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine in 2022, alarms were raised in the capital Chisinau about whether they could be next. Shortly after the invasion, Moldova gained EU candidate status. But the debate about joining has continued. This result, though, another victory for the pro-European side. That's 3 election victories in a row for PAS: parliamentary, presidential, and the EU referendum. Now the party will push forwards towards membership by the end of the decade. But what comes next for Moldova? And what happens to its relationship with Russia?